You know, when it comes to how countries deal with each other, it's often like a delicate dance. One wrong step can send ripples across the globe. Today, we're going to look at how a seemingly small incident at an airport spiraled into a pretty serious diplomatic spat between Ghana and Israel.
So here's the question that really gets to the heart of it all. How on earth does a routine trip for a cybersecurity conference suddenly blow up into an international incident? Let's break down exactly how it happened.
Okay, so our story kicks off at Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv.
So picture this. You've got a group of Ghanaian professionals. Now, these aren't just any tourists. They were officially invited to Israel to attend a cybersecurity conference. They had a totally legitimate reason to be there.
But as soon as they arrived, things took a sharp turn. 7 of these Ghanaian citizens were pulled aside and detained by Israeli authorities. And I don't mean just asked a few extra questions. I mean formally detained. And this wasn't just some quick delay either. They were held for over 5 hours, and from what we understand, with no real explanation given. Can you just imagine the frustration? You're just stuck in this weird diplomatic limbo.
And that's when things really heated up. Ghana's foreign ministry came out with a really powerful statement. They claimed their citizens were deliberately targeted and this is a direct quote, subjected to inhumane and traumatic treatment. Wow, I mean, those are incredibly strong words. It signals this was way more than just some simple immigration mix-up.
So how did Ghana respond to this? Well, they didn't just send off an angry letter. They took direct tit-for-tat action under a brand new policy they call number-for-number diplomacy.
And here is that policy in action. After Israeli authorities detained 7 Ghanaians and ended up denying entry to 3 of them, Ghana responded almost immediately. Just a few days later, 3 Israeli citizens who arrived in Accra were turned right back around. A direct, one-for-one response.
So what exactly is this policy? Well, Ghana's foreign ministry spelled it out pretty clearly. It's basically a promise that for any Ghanaian who gets deported, an equal number of Israelis will be too. It's an unmistakable signal. We're going to treat your citizens exactly how you treat ours.
But you have to wonder, did this whole thing really start at the airport? Or was there something deeper going on in the background?
And that's the key question, isn't it? Diplomatic fights this intense rarely just pop up out of thin air. There's almost always some kind of friction already there, just beneath the surface.
And this timeline, well, it seems to show where that friction was coming from. In the months leading up to this, Ghana had been getting more and more critical of Israel's actions in the Gaza war. They condemned bombings, they called for more humanitarian aid. So with that as the backdrop, the airport incident starts to look a lot less like it happened in a vacuum.
With tensions running so high, both sides needed to find an off-ramp, a way to de-escalate. So the focus started to shift away from retaliation and towards some kind of resolution.
So here are the steps they took. First, Ghana's government summoned officials from the Israeli embassy in Accra to basically explain what happened. And from that meeting, both governments agreed they needed to find a friendly solution. Since then, there have been quiet, behind-the-scenes efforts to fix this.
So, where do things stand right now? Well, for its part, Israel has been officially silent on the whole thing. The big push from both sides is for calm, quiet diplomacy. And maybe the best sign that things are actually getting better is that we're hearing other Ghanaian travelers have recently entered Israel without any problems.
In the end, this whole episode really boils down to one clear message coming from Accra. It's a fundamental rule of international relations. Through its actions, Ghana made it crystal clear. Respect has to be mutual. It's a powerful reminder that on the world stage, every single nation, no matter how big or small, demands to be treated as an equal.